So, in the last presentation we have seen the transmission of water, the pipes, valves, etc., and the pumps. In this presentation we will be seeing the specific water supply to high-rise building. In high-rise building, the water supply will be from a storage reservoir and then distribution system. So, we need a storage arrangement and then distribution system. The storage water, the storage tank is necessary to provide against any interruption in the supply, because in the distribution system we may have to carry out some repairs or cleaning process at that time. So, we have to keep the water in the storage tank, but the pumping will be done continuously. The water is coming from the source. In order to avoid the interruption, the storage reservoir is necessary, and also tied over the intermittent system. The earlier presentation I told there are two types of water supply distribution, the continuous distribution and the intermittent distribution. In case of intermittent distribution, the water storage is necessary. So, we have to consider the how much water is to be stored. The water can be stored in the underground storage tank or in the elevated tank. So, storage tank can be constructed below ground. It's also constructed on the top of the building as an elevated tank. So, normally construction of underground storage tank is economical comparing to elevated tank, because the elevated tank will add load to the structure. In the structural design we have to take into consideration the weight from the overhead tank. So, quantity of water to be stored in the storage tank depends upon the hours of supply from the source and the rate and regularity of the distribution to the consumers and interruption due to the exhausting of the storage. So, the water storage, if the storage as I said can be done either in the underground tank or in the overhead tank or both the tanks. So, 33.3 to 50% of one day's requirement in case of only OHT is provided. If you do not have a underground tank, the water coming from the municipal water supply is directly taken to the storage reservoir and then distributed. In such a case, the storage requirement is only 33.33%, that is 1/3 of the daily requirement. So, in case the water is provided in the underground tank, 50 to 150% of the storage requirement is necessary, because from the underground tank we can pump the water directly to the consumer fixtures without any overhead tank. The water can be directly pumped. In that case, depending upon the pumping duration, the water is coming from the source at a different duration, you are supplying to the consumer at a different duration. So, depending upon the supply duration and distribution duration, we can have a storage capacity of 50% to 150%. If you are storing water in underground storage tank and the overhead tank, then the underground tank UGT has a storage of 2/3, that is 66.7%, and the overhead tank will have 1/3 or 33.3% of the storage. Where the water is stored, whether you are storing in the overhead tank or in the underground tank only, or both in the overhead tank and underground tank. So, we have to provide the storage capacity. So, in the storage tank, both the ground level tank and the elevated tank, so we need certain requirements. The first one is the number of manhole. So, in order to provide access for cleaning, repair, etc., so manholes are necessary on the cover or roof of the tank, and you must have steps or ladders to go into the tank that must be corrosion resistant, and a overflow pipe from the maximum water level which will flow to the ground or terrace, a vent pipe in order to prevent vacuum. This is an important arrangement. Otherwise, in the case of distribution, so without vent pipe there will be vacuum created inside the tank, which will lead to cracking of the side wall and finally leaking of water. And also a scour pipe, the purpose of scour pipe is to clean the tank. So, periodically once in a month the storage tank is to be cleaned to eliminate any deposits, for which a scour pipe provided at the floor level and provided with a valve the valve is opened at the time of cleaning, and then the tank will be cleaned. So, there must be 3 types of pipe connections are necessary for the storage tank. One is the inlet pipe, another is outlet pipe, and the third one is the scour pipe, and importantly the vent pipe is also necessary. The overflow pipe is provided with mosquito proof, because the Anopheles mosquitoes, which are responsible for the spread of malaria, breed only on the fresh water. So, if the overhead tank or underground tank exposed to the atmosphere, that will lead to mosquito breeding. Therefore, all opening to the tank should be provided with mosquito proof brass grating, and the top of the tank should have a proper slope to dispose the rainwater. So, the bottom of the OHT should be placed at least 2 meter above the roof of the building. It should not place just above the roof. We have to provide a column and a separate supporting arrangement for the overhead tank in order to maintain the floor of the tank. So, it may likely to cause leakage. Therefore, the tank should not be placed just above the roof. A separate arrangement is necessary. Now, we will see the different types of distribution. So, here we are discussing the distribution to the high-rise building. The high-rise buildings may have different floors. Like in cities and towns, here also we have to divide the high-rise building into number of zones. In each zone, we can have 5 to 7 floors. If the number of floors are greater, we have to divide into 5 to 7 floors as a zone. For each zone, we have to provide one storage tank or service reservoir. The water can be supplied directly from the municipal main, or we can pump from the underground tank through hydro-pneumatic system, or the water is stored in the overhead tank and then distributed. So, direct supply from municipal main or metro water. So, many cities, when we are constructing our high-rise building, we may have the municipal water supply or metropolitan water supply, which is treated water. Therefore, we can collect that water and raise directly to the overhead tank. So, in general, the water distribution system, sufficient pressure will be available, which will facilitate the filling of overhead tank placed at some 12 meter or 17 meter from the ground level, depending on the cities. In metropolitan cities, the water will have a pressure of 12 to 17 meter. So, the water will rise to 4th floor or 5th floor, and we can store the water in the storage reservoir. From there, we can have the distribution pipe connected to each fixtures, and then water can be distributed. So, next is the direct pumping. So, water is collected in the underground tank. From there, the water is pumped and distributed directly to the various flows and the fixtures. So, we have the underground tank, to which the water is received from the source or municipal supply without sufficient pressure. So, from there the water is pumped through a pump and then taken to the different flows. These are the feed pipe for each floor, and in each floor we have number of fixtures, and this is a small storage for each floor, because the excess water will be stored here, and during the non-pumping hours the water can be received from this storage reservoir. So, this is the direct pumping. In the direct pumping, so when the water is not drawn, so the pipe will be overloaded. To avoid that, so we need the pressure tank. Okay. So, that pressure tank is known as the hydro-pneumatic system, where the vessel is provided, to which the main is connected. On the top of the vessel you have a air space. So, when there is no supply, the air will be compressed and the water will be stored. The air vessel, the air at the top is connected to a compressor. When the air is reduced, the compressor will provide the necessary air. As the water drawn from the system, the pressure in the vessel falls and the pump switch starts. So, this is automatically controlled. So, whenever water demand is necessary, the system will activate the pump and the water will be pumped to the system. Here an air compressor is necessary to feed air to the vessel. The system is require reliable power. So 24 hours power supply is necessary. Then only the system can operate, because it's automatically on and off system. Power supply is necessary continuously. So alternate to the hydro pneumatic system, so we can provide variable speed drive pumps. Nowadays the variable speed drive pumps are available. The speed is automatically adjusted according to the demand in the distribution system or drawal system. Okay. So in the variable drive pump, the speed of the motor varies from 960 rpm to 3000 rpm. So with an electronic device which controls the rate of flow. The same pump shall be able to deliver water as required at different times of the day. The system consumes energy in proportion to the work done and saves the considerable amount of energy, because it operates at a different RPM. Therefore, the energy intake is also reduced. So, therefore, we can save sufficient power when you are using the variable drive pumps. So, hydro-pneumatic system generally eliminates the need for an overhead tank, because the water is directly distributed to the various fixtures in the dwelling. There is no need for overhead tank on the top of the building. See, it may supply water at a much higher pressure in the upper floor than the available from the overhead tank, so resulting in equitable distribution. So, in the case of overhead tank supply, the pressure will be more in the lower floors and the pressure will be less in the higher floor. But this pressure difference can be eliminated when you are using the direct pumping provided with hydro-pneumatic systems. So, coming to the overhead distribution, the water is first stored in the water. We have to pump the water to the overhead tank. So, from the underground tank, so we have to pump the water and stored in the overhead tank, and from there the water is supplied through main and then branches to each floor and each apartment. So, here is an isometric view of the overhead tank distribution. We have the overhead tank at the top, and from there the water is conveyed through feed pipe at main pipe, and there are number of branch pipes, so feeding to the different fixtures at different floors. The earlier presentation, we have seen the pressure reducing valve. So, these pressure reducing valves are necessary in the overhead tank distribution system, which are provided in the lower floors, so that in order to have uniform pressures at all floors, then only you can have equitable distribution system. In all the branches to different floors, we will provide the pressure reducing valves, so that the pressure reducing valves reduce to the desired pressure, so that we can maintain the pressure in all the floors at the same, so that we can have equitable distribution to different floors. So, this is a water distribution system from hot water and cold water arrangement. So, we have a heater to supply the hot water and overhead tank to provide the cold water. So, the water supplied to the overhead tank from the source, and then the blue line indicates the cold water supply, and the hot water takes to the heater, the water taken to the heater, again it distributed to the different fixtures. And then the communication pipe, these are the pipes from the overhead tank to the different fixtures. Here normally the connection will be 50 mm and more. So, for the internal distribution plumbing system, we can have three different types of pipes: the galvanized iron pipes, the PVC pipes, and medium density polyethylene pipes. The galvanized iron pipes are liable for corrosion, and the PVC pipes cannot be provided on the exterior surface. When it is exposed to the sun, the quality of the pipe and the strength will be deteriorated and the life will be reduced, whereas the polyethylene pipes are suitable. It is heat resistant, flexible, and not liable for any leakage. Therefore, generally the medium density polyethylene pipes are preferable for the water distribution. in the buildings to various fixtures. Okay, so these are available in coils, so that for without the bend it can be connected to the various fixtures. No need for bends and elbows. So with this we are completing the water distribution to the high-rise building. Here we need a overhead tank for better distribution. But there are three types of distribution. One is a direct pumping from the underground tank without the facility of overhead tank. But in such system, the hydro-pneumatic system is necessary. And in the case of overhead tank distribution, the pressure variation in different floors are usually felt. To overcome this problem, we have to introduce the pressure reducing valves in the lower floors in order to maintain the uniform pressure at all the floors. Therefore, the objective of the equitable distribution at the desired pressure at all the fixtures can be ensured. So, thank you very much. Direct pumping system is most commonly used in the high-rise building, because dividing the high-rise building into a number of zones and providing tank in each zone is a difficult process. And again, filling the tank is a problem. That is why in many high-rise building we provide the direct pumping system. So in the direct pumping system, the water is pumped from the source well. Even within the premises we can have a deep bore well. From there the water can be pumped after the checking the quality of water. Or if the water is received from a municipal source, the water is collected in an underground storage tank, and from there the water can be pumped to different floors through a direct pumping. So when the direct pumping is used, as shown in this slide, the water is pumped from the underground tank to the distribution system in the different floors. You need not divide the entire stories into different zones. We can pump directly to all the stories. The pump operation is controlled by a pressure switch or timer switch installed in the line. So whenever there is a drop in the pressure or demand in the building, then it trigger the pump to operate. So the pump will automatically switch it on and start supply. A jacky pump of smaller capacity is generally used to meet the lean demand or lesser demand. So there are two different types of pump: normal pump for pumping the peak demand and the jacky pump to meet the lean demand. So the jacky pump is of smaller capacity. It will pump a smaller capacity to the system, whereas the normal pump will operate during the peak demand, particularly the early morning hours. The demand will be more. At that time the normal pump will be operated. The other time when there is a reduction in pressure and water is demanded in the system, then the jacky pump will start operate. As mentioned earlier, the relayer power is very important in the operation of the direct pumping system, where the hydro-pneumatic system, which is an air vessel, and the pumping main is connected to the bottom of the air vessel. The air vessel is a cylindrical vessel in which the water is connected from the bottom, and above the 2/3 of the tank there is a air column. At the top of the tank you have the air and bottom you have the water. So when the line is under pressure, the water is filled and the air will be compressed. So when there is a demand, then the water will be lowered and the air is filled from the top. If necessary, the air will be supplied from a compressor connected to the air. So by using the hydro-pneumatic system, there is no need for operator. So it is a automatic system, operates according to the availability of water in the underground tank and also depending on the demand in the various fixtures in the water supply system. So in the high-rise building, because we have number of stories and a number of apartments in each story, the water distribution can be regulated by providing direct system provided with a hydro-pneumatic system, with automatic switching on and off. Okay. So, hydropneumatic system is shown in the figure. So, as I mentioned earlier, the various components of the systems are the underground tank, for which the water is coming from a city water supply, or the source located in the premises. From there the water is pumped to the underground tank. Again it is pumped to the various floors, because in the source the pumping will be uniform, because there must be a separate pumping from the borewell to the UGT, and from the UGT to the distribution there must be two different pumping. So, in the storage tank, the underground storage tank, the water is pumped with a main pump normally and a jacky pump during the lean demand period. So, this is the air vessel. There is a branch connected from the main at the bottom, and the air from the air compressor connected to the top. So, here you have a partly filled with the water and the top with the air. So, when there is a decrease in pressure, then the water column will lower, that will trigger the pump operation, and if there is need for air, the air will be supplied by the air compressor. So, by this system the main objective of the water distribution, that is the equitable water supply with the equal pressure, is ensured. So, this is not possible with the overhead tank distribution system, because in the overhead tank distribution system the pressure varies from floor to floor, and pressure regulation is very difficult. In small multi-story building, they are providing separate inlet for each floor from the overhead tank. For each and every floor separate pipeline will be run, that will increase the cost. Even then the pressure in the top floor will be less. But by this direct pumping arrangement with a hydropneumatic system, we can maintain the equitable distribution at desired pressure. Therefore, we can satisfy the consumer greatly.